Hey everybody. So in the last video where I did the review of the SwapRig holsters, I noticed that these are a few years old now. I noticed that the retention in my mini swap wasn't as strong as it used to be, and I did so it still has retention. You still hear it click in, but if I hold it upside down, I could shake it out. So I emailed SwapRig, and per usual, with every holster, they send the retention Kydex backing. It's an optional piece. If I order more holsters, I'm going to ask them to just put these in from the beginning. I don't have any trouble with retention. I'm usually just standing up and walking around, sitting normal, stuff like that. If it's inside the waistband, my body is pushing against the leather and has much better retention. What I'm looking at is for the outside the waistband. I don't think that retention is acceptable in case I take a tumble or decide to do some John Wick ninja stuff, have it fly out, or like that FBI agent, I think it was FBI guy that was at a wedding or whatever, and he was dancing, did a flip, and his gun fell out of the holster. That would be embarrassing. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to install this. Now, it fits, has the same shape as the leather, and I'll show you the instructions here. Everything comes, the instructions come with every holster, and they're pretty comprehensive. They go over, I think, every holster model they have, how to change out your ulti clips, all that sort of stuff, maintaining your stuff, what you need to install these if you get these as an add-on later. So they have this model, which fits here. They also have one for the shoulder holster, which has these two extra holes up here. The shoulder holster has Kydex on the back already, so I haven't noticed any reduction in retention there. So I'm going to install this now. If you want to just see what the finished product is, you could fast forward. I have my Wheeler torque wrench with a, I believe it's a 3/32. Yep, and it says here 3/32 hex bit. I'm using the owner's manual for SwapRig. The instructions for doing this are on page 15 and 16. These are the instructions I'm going to be using. So here we go. Loosen these wings. So I'm having to pull the ulti clips off to the side so I can gain access to the top screw. And we're supposed to just loosen this just enough to get the SwapRig Kydex out. This is the first time I've ever removed this. This came all put together. So that's how that looks. You can order replacements, or say you want to, like this is for the Glock 17 or Shadow System DR920. So you want to switch to a SIG or Walther, another type of Glock. Like I have a Glock 21, one of these that I ordered it and then I never carry it. So I have other holsters for that one. All right. So step one, loosen all 4 locking rail cap screws only enough to free the swap skin wings. Use caution to not fully remove the cap screws completely, or loss of the captured locking washers may occur. If the locking washer falls free, reinsert it between the locking rail halves and then reinsert the cap screw to capture it. Step 2, pinch the center of the swap skin and retract one side of the swap skin at a time from the swap skin at a time for the locking rails. Step 3, now completely loosen the cap screws and remove the locking rails from the holster and set them aside. Try to keep all the hardware intact. So I'll finish these off. So there's the screw. There's a washer and like a grommet cap kind of thing. It probably shouldn't matter, but I'm going to keep them all together so each screw goes back with its own hardware. It's just kind of an anal thing, I guess. So this bottom one had a plastic spacer underneath the whatchamacallit. This is the these are the locking spacers. So you don't have to use Loctite on these, and you probably shouldn't. So that way, I mean, Loctite, you can get it back off, but it's going to make it tougher. Last time I had to back off a screw that had Loctite on one of my holsters, I had to hold it with my pliers and then torque it free. So that takes off this. Okay, that exposes the screw ends there that are captured in there. The back of them are tucked behind the belt loops, so you can't see them back there, so don't push those out. So step 4, I'm going to take this sticker off. Place the backing card and shiny side out and curve to the top so they match up these holes. So it'll look like that. You can kind of see where I broke in the leather. It's all wrinkle shaped. So whenever I was talking to SwapRig about this, he said if the leather ever, these have a lifetime warranty, so if the leather ever gets just completely worn out, it just doesn't work anymore, the lifetime warranty would kick in and they would just send me a replacement. And I think I've had these since 22 or so, and I use them regularly. Obviously, you saw how worn it is. All right, remount the locking rails on top of the backing card and start the cap screw. If the locking washer falls free, reinsert it between the locking rail halves and then reinsert the cap screw. So that's these guys. I did not pay attention to which direction the screws go. So these locking washers, the claws face up one direction. I think these ones slid right out. So this one's facing down, this one's facing down. So I'm going to place the grabby part facing down on these. And these go in here. Kind of drop them on top of the female end where the screw is going to go. You can use your screwdriver to place them. So this goes here. Don't forget to put the spacer back on the bottom side if you have the ulti clips in. So I'm not tightening these all the way down, I'm just tightening them enough to make sure it doesn't fall apart and the washers come out. Okay, so that one's in. Washer, spacer. And it is important that you don't mix up the hardware because these bottom screws are longer. So the bottom ones should be interchangeable, but the top ones are shorter screws. Okay. Now reinsert the swap skin one wing at a time into the locking rails. Make sure that the swap skin wings are fully inserted between the locking rail halves and over the locking washer. So those are those little spiky guys in there. So I gotta go over. Then you mash it so it tacos up. I'm over the top. Now tighten all 4 cap screws snugly. Now go back and fully tighten each one. So you tighten them all down, and then once they're all tight, so I'm going to just kind of snug them. Now you can adjust the height of these ulti clips if you want your holster to be, you want it up if you want it deeper, and you want it down if you want it to ride higher on your waistband. I kind of just, they came oriented pretty much right at the top here, and that's where I'm going to leave mine. Going through and tightening everything down. Well, I thought I broke the screw there for a second, but it must have just been hung up on the edge of a, one of the threads must have been hung up on the edge of the, a washer or something. So these had a little bit of play in them, so I could move them off to the side from the beginning. So I don't want these super tight, but I do want to snug them down some more. So I can move them, but they're stiff. All right. See how we did. Oh, that's way stiff. Does not fall out now, which is what we were going for. Still comes out. You know what I did? I put it in upside down. So now we get to do that all over again. And I just have to loosen these, and then I'll turn my swap skin around. I'm like, why? This don't look right. Lots of practice. If I didn't learn the hard way, I wouldn't do any learning at all. So this is just highlighting how easy it is to change the SwapRig out, though. Turn it around so it's facing the correct way. Would we say we want to be on top of the screws? Over the locking washers. So yeah, we want to be over those spiky washers. These are open-ended here. I'm not using this screw hole. I don't know if this is what holster that's for, but not this one. So in we go again. Taco it back up. Get this guy out of the way. Taco it back up. There we go. That looks better. Tighten these guys back down. They don't have a torque setting. I'm just going hand tight, and I'm not really wrenching these down super hard. But if your optic or whatever you're tightening down has a recommended torque setting, that's what these torque wrenches are for. This happens to be a digital one, and I could just set it to, it's been a while since I used it. I just set it to foot-pounds instead of metric or whatever. It has several settings on here. And then I will, if it says 15 pounds, I'll twist it and keep an eye on this, and when this hits 15, I stop. Okay. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So now it matches. It's not on backwards. And so for re-indexing, you come on this flap here, and you kind of slide in and push it in. I was having some trouble whenever it was backwards because there's no indexing flap, and you can see right there, there's the worn out leather and then the Kydex retention flap. So there we are. Still doesn't come out, even though I had it. Now it's in the right way, right side up. And yeah, that's a lot tighter actually. And that's why you put. They recommend putting the shiny side out. It's gonna squeeze it harder, but the shiny side is slipperier, so it'll have retention, but not too much. With the ones that have the screw down retention, you can over tighten those, and then it's just a real bear getting it out, and you're gonna put extra wear and tear on your holster. So there we are. I've installed the optional Kydex retention pad or retention flap onto my SwapRig mini swap holster. Yeah, I like it. That's way better. I was happy with it before, but now I can go do some ninja moves outside, mall ninja. If I watch too many John Wick movies and start jumping around, won't fall out. Hope that helped. Have a good one.